Happiness can be found, even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light. Quote, "Whether you come back by page or by the big screen, Hogwarts will always be there to welcome you home." Quote, "It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." Quote, "It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live." Quote, "We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all of the power we need inside ourselves already." Quote, "You sort of start thinking anything's possible if you've got enough nerve." Quote, "You place too much importance on the so-called purity of blood. You fail to recognize that it matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be." Quote, "It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends." Quote, "If you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals." Quote, "Dark and difficult times lie ahead. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy." Quote, "Greatness inspires envy, envy engenders spite, spite spawns lies." Quote, "Personal happiness lies in knowing that life is not a checklist of acquisition. Your qualifications are not your life." Quote, "Young people are so infernally convinced that they are absolutely right about everything." Birth and death. There was the same consciousness of heightened existence and of her own elevated importance. Quote, "If trying hard doesn't work, try harder. Then try harder than harder until one day you shall succeed." Quote, "The greatest minds are like film, they take the negatives and develop themselves in darkness." Quote, "We have to remember, sometimes the most important history is the history we're making today." Quote, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default." Life is difficult, and complicated, and beyond anyone's total control, and the humility to know that will enable you to survive its vicissitudes. Achievable goals are the first step to self-improvement.